Hi, this is Majnu, and this is the solution to the task that I published on my Endgames weblog. Some of you gave some possible solutions, and I want to see to have a look at the different variations and show you, of course, a solution to this task. It's white to play and draw, and let's have a look first at A8 queening immediately. What then happens is that black queens on f1 with check, a king to g4, and here comes an important move of black. Black plays king to g1, threatening to move the pawn to d1, promoting, so we need to prevent that with white. Queen to d5, and now follows e2, and now black has two threats to advance one of those two pawns, so black wins here. So this is not the correct solution. Let's go back now. Here, another option that was mentioned is to play king to g4 immediately. The idea is to promote with check here and prevent that black promotes with check himself. But in that case, if black promotes here and we promote with check, then king to g1 follows. And again, black is threatening to get a second queen here by playing d1 to prevent that. Queen to d5, and then again e2 is winning for black. So those two ideas don't work here. Promoting and king to g4 don't work. The solution for this problem is to play the move king to e2. This is the correct move, controlling both promotion squares f1 and d1. And I'm sure that some of you have seen that here black has a beautiful move, the move f3 check. So it seems like white is in trouble again, because if we go to either f1 or d1, then the e pawn will advance with check, and then black will promote. So we can only take either on f3 or e3. If we take on f3, then the promotion will be with check on f1. So king takes e3 we play. Now f1 queen, a8 queen, queen to g1 check, and here comes a very surprising move. The best move here in this position is not king to e4 but king to f4, and that looks very strange, but let me show you. King to f4, queen takes d4 check, and now king to f3. And this is an interesting position because white is now threatening to checkmate in two. King to g3 check with the queen, and if the king goes to g1, then queen to g2 checkmate. Of course black can promote his pawn by d1 check, but let's have a short look first at the other option, queen to d3 check. In that case the king goes to f2 with check, and again it's checkmate after king to h2, queen g2 is checkmate. So that means that in this position d1 check is needed. Now we have this strange situation now that black has two queens against one queen of white, but still white can force a draw here, and it's in a very interesting way. King to g3 check. Now moving the king to g1 will follow queen to g2 checkmate, so we need to place the queen in between in the diagonal. So queen d5, and now comes queen to h8 check. Now something strange is happening here, because if now the king goes to g1, in that case, let me show you, queen to h2 check, and if the king goes to f1, then queen to f2 is checkmate. So that means that in this position the only option for black is either to place this queen or this queen on h5. Let's say it doesn't really matter which one. If this one goes here, then there is a check on a8 again, and again black needs to place a queen on d5, one of both queens. Because if the king goes to g1, then queen g2 is checkmate. So if queen d5, then the same thing on the other side. So we have a symmetrical pattern here. Queen in between and then the check again there, and this can be repeated many times. Now let's go back. The last variation that I wanted to show you is, let me see, right here, because I told you here that the only good move for white is to play the king to f4 and not the king to e4. King to e4 looks much more natural. In that case, black wins. There are two options, queen to g4 check, or to promote with d1. Let's look at d1. Is I think the most clear win, because if rook takes, then queen takes d1, and if a check is given on h8, then king goes to g2, defends for the second time the f3 pawn, and after queen g7, king to f2. This pawn can be defended enough, and then it's a matter of simply giving a check with black and then making a space with the king to have the f pawn advancing. So that's the most surprising thing here, that in this position the winning, well, let's say the move that saves the game is giving away this rook here, sacrificing it. So queen takes d4, king takes f3, promotion, and then king to g3. And this is then the interesting pattern that arises, that white can give checks and the only option for black is to place one of the two queens in between. Alright, I hope you found this interesting to look at, and I'll see you next time on YouTube. Goodbye.